Welcome back to the Weekend Show. Right now we explore the political segment and some political trending issues. Joining us right now is Engineer Nee Fatogun, who is the co-convener of Masses Movement for President Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you so much for joining us in today's program.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So what exactly are the objectives of this Masses Movement for President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, the Masses Movement, we in the Masses Movement realized that at this point in time for this country, the President, Muhammadu Buhari, with his integrity, with his qualities, are the things we need for our problems to be solved in this country. We have a lot of problems. Nigeria is a problem on its own, and we all know what the problems are, what the issues are. And we decided, or we took stock of everything, analyzed the polity, and came to the realization that to solve our problems, okay, we need somebody who at the top of the executive arm is practically a squeaky clean person, somebody who has a bank of integrity. That is somebody who is actually, who, as we say in our movement, who will take a look at ₦1 trillion and walk away from it. Okay. Who won't pick it. You know, because if you have somebody else who will dip his hand or hand into it, then we've not really started solving our corruption problem, which is one of the biggest problems we have in this country.
So in summary, what you're saying is that Masses Movement for President Muhammadu Buhari, the sole objective is to project President Muhammadu Buhari as a man of integrity, a man who can solve the problems of Nigeria. And giving that definition of your group, in the past 3.5 years, how do you believe President Muhammadu Buhari has fared? So let's take some of the key issues, for instance, security, the fight against corruption, infrastructural development, road, power, the rail sector. What would be your assessment of President Muhammadu Buhari?
I think he's done very well, fantastically well. If you look at the economy, for instance, we went into recession. And the reason we went into recession is because of the falling oil prices. There's no other reason. I always give an example of you with your household. I mean, somebody like me, if you earn like 3 million naira every month, and you're somebody who immediately you get the 3 million naira, you change it to dollar, you give it to your children, they go abroad, they buy things, and they bring it in, and suddenly your 1 million naira becomes 50,000 naira. You've got to adjust in such a way that you adjust the structure of your household.
So some would beg to differ. Some would beg to disagree with you, because we all know that President Muhammadu Buhari didn't set up his cabinet for 6 months, for at least 6 months into his administration.
It has nothing to do with the recession. It has nothing to do.
He didn't have an economic management team for a while as well. So what do you mean that his actions and inactions had nothing to do with the economic recession we experienced in 2016?
It has nothing to do, because recession, that's what I was trying to explain. Recession is caused when your income falls drastically as it did.
And when you have poor managers of the economy?
No, recession will always, because that's why I was trying to use the household example. There's no way you will manage 1 million naira becoming 50 naira. 50,000 naira. How are you going to manage that? What are you managing there? You have to structurally adjust to bring in income from somewhere else. And if you had a reserve, just let me a minute. If you have a reserve somewhere, you use that reserve to keep the 1 million naira you spend or 3 million at a point while you structurally adjust. Then when you finish structurally adjusting, that is finding another job for that 3 million naira, then you put aside your savings again. But if you don't have any savings to keep on that level, you will fall into recession in your household.
Yeah, I was going to bring you back to. I need to bring you back to
recession.
Yeah, I need to bring you back to the point you stated earlier that your movement is inspired by the so-called squeaky clean integrity profile of President Muhammadu Buhari. Over and over again, that integrity credential of President Buhari seems to have been demystified. We've seen a lot of things that have happened in his administration. For instance, very recently, the case of Kemi Adeosun, the Minister of Finance, who is alleged to have forged her NYSC clearance certificate.
Alleged.
She's still in the cabinet.
Yeah,
the presidency has not issued a statement on that matter. The minister in question has not come out to say any word. It's been over 40 days since this scandal broke. And you tell me that President Buhari is a man of integrity.
Those who are supposed to talk about it have spoken. NYSC. Why should the president come and talk about NYSC?
NYSC says they are investigating. How long is it taking for the NYSC to investigate the
case?
But you have a president. You have a president who is the head of the executive.
Absolutely.
The NYSC is a parastatal under the Ministry of Youth
So
Development.
It should descend from
the Ministry of Youth Development is presided over by a minister who sits in cabinet meetings every Wednesday under President Muhammadu Buhari.
And
so the buck stops in the president's table.
I don't understand. NYSC, see, in any developed country, the president will not come from up to tell agencies what they should do.
But the president supervises all the agencies. The president should be able to call the agencies to accountability.
He appoints, it's like saying in the US, Trump should tell Sessions what to do. He should tell Rosenstein what to do.
But when they
he won't tell Rosenstein
when they are getting out of line, it is his responsibility as the commander-in-chief.
No, they are not. You are thinking they are getting out of line. He thinks he doesn't think they are getting out of line.
So
NYSC has said that they are investigating. Let them investigate.
For how long? It's over 40 days. And let's go back to President Muhammadu Buhari's assets declaration.
Yeah.
He said he's a man of integrity. He was elected on that mantra.
Yes.
And he didn't quite really declare his assets. Up till this day, we have not seen a detailed declaration of assets. What we saw were just, you know, just a very...
Wait. Who is supposed to see how? You went to CCB?
No, he claimed before his election that he was going to make his assets declaration public. Up till now, we don't have a breakdown of that document.
I'm sure you can request and get it from CCB.
But I'm saying that for a man who claims to be a man of integrity, like you have said here on this show.
What has that got to do? Listen, let me tell you something
about
this integrity.
Integrity is also about transparency.
Let me tell you something about this integrity. I always try to use an analogy here. Take Dangote. Dangote is a very rich man by any standard. He built his richness over 40 years. Okay? 40 years. If you are going to try and sit down and tell me that because so-and-so said something, so Dangote is not rich, he doesn't have that bank of money somewhere, you're wasting your time. Because integrity, this guy has built his integrity over years. If you're going to try this to judge 40 years, you're joking.
There's a popular saying by Warren Buffett, which goes, it takes a lifetime to create an impression of yourself, and it takes just a second to destroy it. Over the past 3 years, prior to President Muhammadu Buhari coming into office, he had an aura of integrity, being a statesman and being very dependable. But given some circumstances that has happened in this administration, it is arguable that the smokescreen of integrity has dissipated over time. We saw the different issues that occurred, as my colleague rightly said, the issue with the NYSC certificate of one of his cabinet ministers, the issue of not declaring his assets, the issue of the DSS invasion in the National Assembly, the issue of the DSS invasion of the judicial arm of government, the issue of, as according to Senator according to Senator Sani, spraying using insecticide to get rid of, you know, the people who perpetrate a crime in your party and using
to treat the ones in your party.
Exactly. So we see these issues that are occurring. How do you intend to market President Muhammadu Buhari come 2019, given the fact that this smokescreen of integrity has been eroded?
See, marketing him is one of the easiest things. What you are trying to do, or what the opposition is trying to do, is to demarket. And I've explained to you that you cannot tell a Dangote who has built his wealth for 40 years that he's poor. This guy has built his integrity for so many years. Because you see him walking on the streets, he's not using a Rolls Royce, doesn't mean that he's not rich. This guy has built his integrity for 40 years. All this cannot move it. The world leaders say it openly, that this guy is one of the cleanest guys around.
So in your perspective,
the point is that your opposition is trying hard to demarket, and as a strategist, I will tell them that that is not the way to go.
So it's an exercise in futility.
It's an exercise in
futility.
So
you believe in 2019 you don't have to do much in selling President Muhammadu Buhari to the people?
No. See, February 16 is about figures, numbers, okay? February 16 is when the election will take place. Election is about numbers, not about semantics or adjectives. This president has the numbers of Nigeria that will vote for him. He has those numbers.
What numbers are those? Are you referring to 12 million votes?
Have you done the analysis of the figures?
Please, analyze it for us. That's why we're on this program.
The president has 12 states that when he didn't have the paraphernalia of office, he didn't have army, he didn't have police, he didn't have anything. He was consistently winning those 12 states.
Are you suggesting that because he now has a paraphernalia of the police and that office, that is going to play a role in ensuring he's re-elected?
Let me land before you put words into my mouth. He has those 12 states. Those 12 states are about 40 to 50% of the voting population. That's a lot. That's why I say it's about numbers. Now, he did not have, remember, when you are trying to win an election, one of the strategies is that you win very well where you are, you suppress where you are not. So when the president was in those two, I mean, didn't have the dissent, his votes were being suppressed there in those 12 states. Upon all the suppression, this guy still wins there. Clear majority. He clears the place. Now he's there. He's able to guarantee free and fair elections there. He will make sure that the army or the police does not do what they used to do.
That's a great place to pin it. And let's watch a video. We'll take right now a video from one of your colleagues, Festus Keyamo, who I believe has become the spokesperson for the Buhari re-election campaign. Let's take a look at the video and see what he says about the power of the incumbent.
For you to unseat a status quo, for you to be able to unseat a settled order, there must be a division within that order. Look at all the revolutions that happened in history. If there's no division within that order, you must pluck some people. It takes people who know others, who know themselves very well to beat those people. It must take a division within their ranks. There must be a division within their ranks. All revolutions in history can prove me right. Even within the PDP, there was a division in the PDP. It took the defection of 5 governors. It took the defection of many of their key members for us to defeat the PDP.
Engineer Fatogun, we've seen that video, Festus Keyamo saying that to defeat an incumbent, it will have to be from the internal divisions within the ruling party, like was seen in the PDP in 2015 when 5 governors defected.
Yep.
Now, is the APC your party? Not at that point where it is imploding. Is the APC, considering the high-profile defections we've seen in the last few weeks, including Nigerians' number 3 citizen leaving the party, is that not an indication, based on what Festus Keyamo said, that your party will not be able to win the 2019 elections because APC is imploding, just as we saw with the PDP in 2015?
You know, I told you in between our interview that these elections are about numbers, not about semantics and adjectives and talking big, moving around. All those guys put together, 2011, 2015, all of them in power, Buhari was dealing with them in those states I'm talking about. Anybody, governor, ANPP, governor here, PDP, Kwakwanso here, everybody here, it was. So those 12 states with the bulk of the 12 million is not only guaranteed, he will get more.
Buhari will win in Kwara?
I think he will.
Will he win in Benue with what has happened, the herdsmen crisis?
I think he will.
Will he win in Kogi, considering the reputational issues the governor is facing with the people of that state?
Why will he not?
So you really think that the states that he won in 2015, he's going to be able to win those states again?
Absolutely.
You know, when we have these conversations, I always wonder, you know, how in touch with reality most of you politicians are. You've not necessarily discussed some of the issues on ground that Nigerians are facing. Increased economic hardship, the effect this has on them, and the perspective of the governance. But unfortunately, we don't have enough time to delve into it. But I would like to correct you on the point. In 2011, when President Muhammadu Buhari ran against fellow, it was 2000.
Jonathan in 2011.
No, prior to that, it was, I believe, when he ran against Yar'Adua, his 12 million votes, like the APC still always claim that he has in the bag, was obviously reduced. So now in 2019...
You are talking about 2007. That's a terribly rigged election. Forget it. Even Yar'Adua himself acknowledged that this election, please, don't go to it. When their spokesman, Kola Ologodiyan, went back to say, why haven't I think Festus Keyamo released some statements, and Kola said why didn't he go back to 2007? Say, God, why should he be talking about 2007? Absolutely rigged.
Engineer Fatigun, you agree with me?
The president himself, Yar'Adua, acknowledged the Supreme Court decision on that vote was almost going to, they were almost going to throw out that election.
Okay, but
we all know that.
Do you agree
but 2011,
that, yes, at the time Buhari won in 2015, do you agree that he would not have been able to win that election without the support of some of the people that are currently defecting from the APC right now? 5 PDP governors moved into the APC.
Obviously, you are not looking at your figures.
Moved into the APC. Are you saying...
You are not looking at your figures.
Are you saying those 5 governors, the implosion that happened in the PDP did not play a role in ensuring that Buhari was able to win in 2015?
That's what I'm saying. You are not looking at your figures. You won't ask me that question.
But he's always had those 12 million votes. That's what my colleague said. Tried to explain earlier. Buhari has always had the same number of votes.
No, you see, in elections, it is not about the absolute vote you get. It's about the margin. It is the margin that makes you win. You understand? The margin of votes. If you have a positive vote, you are the winner. If you have a negative vote, you are the loser. So it's the margin. So you calculate your destiny and you will see that those margins, what are the margins those guys brought? Engineer
Fatogun, I wish you the best of luck on the 2019 presidential election campaigns, and we hope to have you back on the show as soon as possible.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So
thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. We'll take a break right now, and when we return, we have Chief Femi Fani-Kayode to be speaking about the PDP arm, or the PDP perspective on these issues towards 2019. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back on The Weekend Show.